There are three types of entrepreneurs. There's one in particular that succeed, and there's one in particular that fails, and there's a bunch in the middle who will kind of get by. What made me think about this is I came across an old contact or friend who had a business, and their business has really gone down. Very sad, because they were actually really good at what they did. Probably one of the best at what they did of whatever industry that they were in. Some of their problems look really simple. I said, look, have you tried this? Have you tried going on social media? Have you tried a couple of these things? And they said, well, no, I don't know how to do that, or I don't really have time, and I don't really have knowledge, and I'm not much of a computer person. They just kept giving me all these reasons and these excuses why they couldn't do it. And that's the first type of entrepreneur that I notice out of dealing with hundreds of businesses. And I'm not talking like we deal with the masses, because I don't deal with thousands of people and don't know them. I deal with a couple of hundred businesses, and I know them intimately. I know them very deeply. I know what business they're in. I know a lot about their business and how they do things and about their leadership. So I know these guys really well. And I just noticed that whenever I come up with different strategies or suggestions, and they start saying, I don't know how to do that. I don't have the resource. I don't have the money. I don't have the time. I don't have the know-how. This type of person who comes up with reasons, they are the guys and girls or entrepreneurs that find life really difficult. They struggle to make wages. They struggle to compete. They struggle with just about everything. They struggle to implement projects. They struggle to implement anything. And this is a very hard position to be in. And then I think about some of the other guys and girls and entrepreneurs who end up getting by and doing better. And sometimes they do a bit better. Sometimes they struggle. The second type of entrepreneur that I notice is the people who go, I don't know how to do that, but how can I actually get the job done? How do I figure this out? They're getting by and trying to piece things together. They're trying to figure out how they can get the job done. And this is miles better, miles better than the first type of entrepreneur who has essentially checked out. They've given up before they've even started. They've assumed that they just don't know how to do things and that they can't figure it out, or they can't get help in figuring it out. So the second type of entrepreneur is going to be much better, but they'll still struggle a bit. Some years they'll do good, some years they won't do good, but they'll make things work, they'll survive. The third type of entrepreneur, and this is what I notice, and we have a good concentration of these guys who are really, really successful. The third type of entrepreneur that I notice will succeed no matter what. Even though they fail, even though their business goes broke or bankrupt or they have to close it down, they are the type of entrepreneurs who will make it work no matter what. No matter what they have to do, no matter how under-resourced they are. We had one of these guys whose businesses were burnt down to the ground and they had nothing. And another one who basically the government shut half of their business down. And they will do whatever it takes, no matter what, to make it work. Even if they have to work day, night, even if they have to get free resources, even if they have to ask friends for favors, no matter what they have to do, they will make it work. They will make it happen. And these guys are the guys who are going to succeed no matter what. They're the type of guys who are the reason why the first type of entrepreneur with a lot of excuses, a lot of reasons, they will not survive, because there are guys like these who spend 24/7 thinking about their business. 24/7, whether they're taking a break, whether it's Christmas, whether it's New Year, whether they're out for drinks, whether they're with friends, they are thinking about their business 24/7. And they are taking action when everyone else is sleeping, when no one else is looking. They are taking action 24/7, and they are the guys who are going to leave everyone else behind. And that's one thing that I've realized. If you take a rest, if you sleep, there are people out there who are not going to sleep. You've got competitors who are going to be working 24/7 to leave you behind. And I'm not saying that you can't take a break. I am all for taking breaks, and I'm all for living life to the fullest. But there are people out there who will be thinking 24/7 on how to win. And you are going to be competing with those type of people. You are going to be competing with people who are absolutely obsessed with creating a point of difference, with creating a competitive advantage that you are not going to be able to compete with unless you are constantly putting in the work. And that's the type of person who will succeed. We've got clients who are in the BRW Rich List here in Australia. We've got clients who are in the equivalent Rich Lists internationally, and that is how they operate. That is one thing that I really noticed. They turn their whole attention into how the hell do we succeed? How the hell do we create advantage so that we are set for the next 10 years? They're not just thinking about next week. They're not just thinking about their next paycheck. They are thinking about how they set themselves up for the next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years and beyond. Especially the people with family businesses, the people who have accumulated a lot of wealth. They're thinking about their grandkids. They're thinking about how to set their business up so their grandkids can take over. And they're the type of people who absolutely win regardless of whether their business fails. Even if they have to shut it down, they will absolutely win at some stage. And that is why I just wanted to share this with you. It was an insight as I was getting a present for a friend, and I ran into someone who was complaining that they didn't know how to use social media, who was complaining that they didn't know how to market. I've been a very late adopter of social media, and there's a lot to learn, but we have to do it because this is the future. This is the digital space is not going to go away. Trying to ignore social media is like trying to say that computers are not going to take off or that mobile phones are not going to take off. And the principle of making yourself unstoppable is always going to be around. It's been around thousands of years ago, and it's going to be around for the next couple of thousand years, for as long as humans are in existence. The principle that I wanted to share with you today is to make yourselves unstoppable. To do whatever it takes, not just do enough, but do whatever it takes to get what you want. And I'm not saying you have to be billionaires. I'm just saying whatever makes you happy in life, however much you need in life, do whatever it takes to get what you want to get.